Hi, welcome to DesignIns. In this video, I will explain the principles of design in details through live demonstration, showcasing the impact final design outcomes after using proper principles of design, and also show you the design without following principles of design properly, by whom you will get a clear idea what importance is principle of design and how it works in a visual. Before starting, let's clear what we are to be learn in this video. First of all, I will explain you what is the design principle, its type and definition with perfect example from nature and visual composition. How to use principle of design, and also will see clearly differentiation in the design without following design principle and with following design principles. Okay, after that we will learn why knowing design principle is important for the graphic designers. What problems can we have to face if we don't have proper understanding principle of design? And finally, I will share with you wonderful ways and tips of practice using principle of design in just 2 minutes. So we kindly request you to continue watching this video until its conclusion. It's really to be happen very useful video for novice graphic designers and also for them who just came knowledge software and tools. So let's get started with our initial problem. What is the design principle and its type? Design principles are fundamental guidelines that shape the process and outcomes of designing product, system, or experience. While there are various design principles depending on the context and field of design, but here I am to be explaining you about 8 common principles of design. Our first principle of design is contrast. Contrast refers to the visual differentiation between elements in terms of color, size, shape, or texture. Let's see here a perfect example of contrast. First of all, see the example of contrast in nature. Looking wonderful combination of purple and yellow. Here you can see a design without using contrast properly. Let's see the same design after using contrast, where you can clearly differentiate what effects come in the visual after using contrast in the design. So here we have created contrast in this design through color. Similarly, you can also create contrast through color, size, texture. Our second principle of design is emphasis. Emphasis directs the viewer's attention to a specific focal points or important element within a design. See here a wonderful example of emphasis. See the example of emphasis in nature. How white color flower attracting viewers attention. Let's see the visual without using emphasis properly. Now you can see how can we use emphasis in the visual on an important point to highlight. So here we have created emphasis on the property word through using shape, line and color. Similarly, you can also create emphasis through color, shape, line. Our next principle of design is balance. Balance is a fundamental principle of design that involves the distribution of visual elements within a composition. It aims to create a sense of equilibrium and harmony, ensuring that no single element overpowers the others. There are 3 types of balance that designers employ to achieve different effects. Our first type of balance is symmetrical balance, also known as formal balance. This type of balance occurs when elements are arranged equally on either side of a central axis. It creates a sense of stability and formality. See the example of symmetrical balance. Second type of balance is asymmetrical balance. Asymmetrical balance, also called informal balance, involves arranging elements of different size, shape, or color to achieve visual equilibrium. It can create a more dynamic and visually interesting composition. See the example of asymmetrical balance. And our third and last types of balance is radial balance. Radial balance occurs when elements radiate outward from a central point. It's often seen in circular or spiral composition. Radial balance creates a sense of movement and energy, with a central point acting as a focal point. See the examples of radial balance. Here we have wonderful example of balance that make this butterfly so much beautiful and attractive just because of overall proper balancing. Let's see how design look like when we do not use balance properly. Now see here how balance used in the visual. You can see here what effects come when we use proper balance in the overall design. Our next principle of design is proximity. Grouping related elements together establish a visual relationship and improve the readability. Here we have a perfect example of proximity in nature. Let's see now a visual design without using proximity properly, how it's looking. But now you can see the same design when we use proximity in the visual, how a design start to feel and organized and clean. Hope you get a clear idea how proximity, balance, emphasis and contrast have to use in the visual and can give our design better look and feel. Next principle of design is alignment. Arranging elements along a common axis or edge to create a cohesive and organized design. Let's see the example of alignment. Here is the example of alignment in the nature. Let's see a visual design without using alignment properly, how it's looking. But now you can see the same design when we use alignment in the visual, what effects come. Next principle of design is repetition. Repetition reusing visual elements such as color, pattern or shape to create a unity and consistency in a design. Let's see the example of repetition. See, here is the example of repetition in nature. Has been using just leaf again and again, that creating wonderful interest overall. Now see here our visual design without using repetition properly, how it's looking. But now you can see the same design when we use repetition in the visual, how our illusion get created in the design. Next principle of design is negative space. Negative space, also known as white space, plays a crucial role in design by providing breathing room and balance, allowing the main elements to stand out and creating a sense of elegance and simplicity. Here we have some examples for negative space. See here wonderful example of negative space in nature. Now see a design without using negative space properly, how it's looking. But now you can see the same design when we use creatively negative space in the visual, how a design start to feel clean, modern look. Hope you get a clear idea about the role of negative space in the design. Our last principle of design is movement. Movement as a design principle refers to the deliberate use of motion and animation to enhance the visual experience and guide user interactions. Here you can see examples of movement. Here is the example of movement in nature. Let's see a visual design without using movement intentionally and creatively, how it's distracting viewers' eyes. But now you can see the same design when we use movement properly as we want to direct the attention of viewer, how a design messaging to the audience creatively. I hope you will get a clear idea about the principle of design and role of it in a visual composition. Next you have to know what importance is principle of design. In just 4 points, I will explain you why knowing design principle is important for every graphic designer. Let's see first point. Effective communication. Design principles provide a common language and framework for graphic designers to effectively communicate their ideas and intentions. Visual impact. Design principles guide graphic designers in creating visually impactful designs that catch the viewer's attention and leave a lasting impression. Professionalism and expertise. Understanding and applying design principles demonstrate professionalism and expertise in the field of graphic design. In short, if I say knowing design principles empower graphic designers to create effectively, visually pleasing designs that communicate message and clearly and enhance user experience, solve design challenges, maintain brand consistency, and demonstrate their expertise in the field. In just 3 points, I will explain you why knowing design principle is important for every graphic designer. Okay, now up to here, you will come to know about principles of design, its importance in the design, and how to use principles of design in the visual. Now finally, I am going to share you with wonderful ways practicing principle of design, because practicing is essential for honing your skills as a graphic designer. Here is I am explaining 3 effective ways to practice and improve your understanding of design principles. Our first tip is analyze existing design. Take the time, analyze and deconstruct designs created by professionals. Look for example in graphic design, web design, product design, or any other relevant field. Identify how design principles are applied and observe how they contribute to the effectiveness of the design. Second, create design exercises. Set design exercises for yourself that specifically focus on practicing design principles. For example, challenge yourself to create a design using contrast as the primary principles. Experiment with different colors, combinations, sizes, and shapes to achieve a visually striking composition. The third tip I have for you, reflect and iterate. After completing a design project, take the time to reflect on how well you applied design principles and the impact they had on the final outcome. Make sure practicing is key to mastering design principle or anything. Consistently applying and experimenting with these principles in your design work will help you develop a deeper understanding of their application and enhance your skills as a designer. Watch this video again if you have not cleared anything and practice as I explained you. Definitely you will start to using principles of design creatively. Thank you for taking the time to learn about the principles of design. If you have any question or doubt about this topic, please feel free to leave a comment below. Additionally, I would appreciate it if you could let me know which topic you would like the next video to cover. If you have not yet viewed my previous video titled Elements of Design with live example, I have recommend you watching it. The video link is conveniently provided in the description below. Get ready for some amazing content in the upcoming weeks if you won't want to miss out. So remember to stay subscribed and connected. And if you enjoy what you see, be sure to give us thumbs up and share our videos with your friends. We are so excited to have you as part of our community. Thank you so much for joining us today.